Howdy, we are Team YASEG and our project is Animation in Cell Biology module. Our target customer was the veterinary department represented by Dr. Hank Walker. The goal of this project was to create intuitive and interactive animations which are used for learning within school systems and which aid students in learning biological concepts. The requirement of this project was to implement and enhance JavaScript and HTML content and to finally deploy them on WordPress and Stepstone environments. So as you can see, we had a total of 5 iterations. The initial iteration started with focusing on understanding the legacy code and then gathering all the requirements needed. We also had to familiarize ourselves with the different aspects of JavaScript, jQuery, HTML, and CSS. In the next iteration, we started verifying all the existing animations on the WordPress and Stepstone environment. We started with fixing some of the minor bugs with responsiveness and interoperability. In the following iterations, we moved on with implementing user stories. We started with identifying all the hint systems that are needed. We also started making slides mobile devices compatible. Parallelly, we also had to collaborate with Samiksha and Daniel Suta for the deployment part. The last one, post iteration 3, is the one with the deployment and all the documentation aspects of the project so that it gives all the details to someone who would be using this project or enhancing this in future. You can get a sense of our iterations from the velocity tracker report that is being shown here. Most of the deployments were post iteration 3, hence you can see a large number of them getting accepted and staggered at the end. Moving on to animation slides. Some of our animations are implemented of a new hint system so that if someone gets stuck while playing these games, they could quickly glance at into those hints. Our first animation is the implementation of this hint system where for each blank you can find hint for that particular blank by clicking on the box. After clicking on hint, a pop-up hovers on the screen showing the hint and the relevant links related to that. After submission at the end, it shows all the hints and gives redirect links for all the wrong answers that are there. In the next slide, the issue with the original animation was that it was not defined clearly what was expected of the user. The game and results were not that intuitive. We made the changes to the structure and now you can see the options for each image. This also shows all the wrong matches by using the color to denote it. In this slide, the issue was with the layout of the page when a user zooms in or zooms out, the plant image that's there, it clouds all the blanks. So we made it compatible for all the layouts. We also made this mobile device compatible. In the next one, we added instruction on how to play the game, which was confusing in the older versions. The user did not know what to do in this game, which has been fixed now. So this is a click me button, which shows that you have to click on that button to give the answer. In the next two slides, we implemented the hint system where a user clicks on the hint button. It shows the correct ones and the wrong ones. In addition to that, it also identifies the correct boxes by highlighting the color for the wrong ones. So if you see here, the pink one is the wrong answer and it needs to go in this box. Same as in the this one. So this green one, this needs to go in this box. So that's the hint for this system. Moving on to the results section, this you can see our deployment snapshots for some of the slides that we have implemented. So on the left is the WordPress deployments and the right is the snapshots of the steps on deployment. Some of the goals that we achieved are we successfully deployed all the animations on WordPress and Stepstone with the help of Samiksha and Dan. We made improvements on animation such that everything is mobile devices compatible. These are compatible with any kind of layouts that's present there. And to end this, we would like to thank Dr. Hank Walker and Gayatri for their continued help. We'd also like to thank Daniel Suta and Samiksha for their help on testing things related to WordPress and Stepstone, and finally helping us in deployment of all those slides. Thank you.
Hello everyone, we are Team YASEG, which stands for yet another software engineering group, and I'll be your presenter for today. Our group work on the cell biology modules, where our main goal was to make the required customer changes in the game slides and deploy them on Stepstone and WordPress so as to allow students to learn interactively and in an enjoyable way. I'll be walking you through the Stepstone and the WordPress website slides and explain the changes that we have made for our software engineering project. So I'll start demonstrating the changes that we have made with slide number 46. So this is the slide number 46, the eukaryotic plant cell review. So earlier it didn't have the hint button or the hint system implemented. So in our project, we have implemented this entire hint system for this particular slide. So earlier when a user used to play this game, whenever he used to place a cell organelle name in the corresponding blocks and press submit, if the answer is wrong, it would just say that this he has answered this many number of answers correctly, and the screen would freeze. But right now, after the hint system addition, if we click on the hint button, the as you can see, the color of the block will change, and color of the cell organelle name, which is the correct answer for that particular block, will also change. As you can see, it has turned gray, and the nucleolus has also turned gray. So it means this is the hint, which means that nucleolus is the particular answer for this block. And if the user picks it up and places it into this block and presses submit, it will tell him that he has answered this correctly. So this was the particular change for this slide. And similarly, we have deployed this change in the Stepstone side also. So this is the Stepstone side, and the same change has been deployed here. If the user submits something wrong, and if he presses hint, the particular color will change. So as you can see, the color of this blank had changed to some dark blue color, and that of the smooth ER has also changed to that same color. If he picks it up and places it here and presses submit, it will show him that he has answered this correctly. And another change in this particular slide was, this is the how the slide looks in the phones. So another change was where the hint button and the submit button was overlapping when we were viewing it on our phones. So there were particular code changes that we made to this particular slide so that they don't overlap anymore. And similar changes have been deployed on Stepstone side also. So the Stepstone side mobile view is like this, and the wetmet side mobile view is like this. So these are all the changes in this particular slide. So the next slide that I'll be presenting is slide number 44. So this is the slide number 44, the plant hangman game. Earlier, before we made the changes, earlier the layout of the alphabets was in a single line, and all the alphabets were aligned on in the single line itself. The first change that we made was we changed the layout of the alphabets to look more aesthetic, and right now it looks like this. The second change that we made to this particular slide was, earlier this play again button only worked after all the lives are over for the particular player. So when the game was over for the player, then only the play again button worked. But right now, whenever we press play again, it restarts the game for the user. So if the user wants to restart at this particular point in the game, he can just click play again and the game will restart. The other change that we did for this particular slide was, whenever whenever we were changing the zoom for this particular slide, this particular image of the plant used to overlap with the alphabets or the blanks present here. But right now, when we change the zoom even to 175%, this particular problem is not there. So we have fixed the overlapping issue while resizing the particular slide. Similarly, we have all deployed all these three changes in the wetmet side and also in the stepstone side. So all the particular changes are present on the stepstone side itself also. And this is how the slide looks on our phones. So also in the phone side, the overlaying and all the layout of the slide looks good. This is for the stepstone side phone view, and this is for the wetmet side mobile view. So these are the changes that has been made for slide number 44. So the next slide that I'm going to be presenting is slide number 31. So this is the particular slide number 31. Earlier, this slide didn't have the hint system present. So for this particular game, there was no hint system or hint buttons present. So we have in this particular project, we have added hints for each of the particular blanks. So whenever a user wants to get a hint for blank number one, he needs to click on hint number one, and it will give a one-line hint for that particular blank and a link. If he wants to know more, then there's this Wikipedia link which will redirect him to the uh, particular link of the particular answer to that blank. So the answer to the first blank should be nucleolus. So whenever he clicks on link, it redirects him to the nucleolus Wikipedia link, and he can learn more about it from there. Similarly, he can do that for hint blank number two. He will get a one-line answer for that, one-line hint for that, and the particular link to the answer of that. So that is the second answer should be ribosome, and it is redirecting him to the ribosome Wikipedia page. So this is how the hint system and the hint buttons are implemented for this particular slide. The second changes that we have done for this particular slide is whenever a user plays this game and he clicks submit, earlier it used to show how many answers he has got wrong and nothing, no more information was provided. But right now we are presenting the information about all the particular blanks that he has gotten wrong. So in this case, all the 5 blanks are wrong. So it will give us the info on all the 5 blanks. And whenever he clicks on one of the links here present here, it will redirect him to the particular Wikipedia page for that particular blank that he has got wrong. So this is these changes that we have made for this slide. Also, we have deployed all these changes in the VetMed website. This is the VetMed website, slide 31, and also this Stepstone website for this particular slide. So all the changes are present in here also. As you can see, the hints button is there, and when he clicks submit, all the whichever he has got wrong has been shown here. Similarly, whenever when all these changes are also visible when we are using the slide on our phones. So this is how the phone view looks, and all the changes are also present in the phone views also. This is for the Stepstone side phone view, and this is for the VetMed side phone view. So all the changes are like the layout of the slide has is looks good in the slides for our phone views also. We have made sure that doesn't overlap with any other particular element in that slide. So these are all the changes for the slide number 31. So now I'm going to demonstrate the changes that we have done for slide number 38. So this is slide number 38, the eukaryotic animal cell review. Earlier, there was no hint button or hint system present for this particular slide. So in our project, we have added the entire hint system for this eukaryotic animal cell review slide. So earlier, whenever a user used to play this game and place the cell or any names in the blanks like this and press on submit, it just used to show him that this number of questions were answered correctly. This number of blanks were answered correctly, and the screen used to freeze. So whenever the user wanted to play the game again, he had to refresh the entire web page. Right now, he doesn't need to do that. If he wants hint for the blanks that he has answered wrong, he can just click on the hint button and it will give an indication of the particular answer to that blanks. So how the indication is given? The indication is given by changing the color of the blank and the answer to that particular blank. So as you can see, the blank color has changed to gray and the vesicles color has also changed to gray. So that means vesicles is the answer to this blank, and cytosol color has changed to green and plasma membrane color has changed to green. They have changed to the same color, just like vesicles and the blank had changed to the gray color. So this means plasma membrane is the answer to this blank. And whenever when we have placed that and press submit, it will show us that we have answered those two correctly. So this is how we have implemented the hint system for this slide number 38. And this slide has been deployed on the Stepstone side. This is the how the Stepstone side looks on our uh, laptop view. And this is how the slide number 38 looks on our phones. There was also one more problem present on this phone view of this slide number 38. And the problem was the hint button and the submit button was overlapping whenever we were viewing the slide number 38 on our phones. So we have also fixed that issue. And right now, in the slide number 38, the hint button and the submit button doesn't overlap anymore. So these are all the changes that we have done for slide number 38, the eukaryotic animal cell review slide.
Next, I'd like to talk about slide number 12. As you can see here, slide number 12 deals with showing the comparisons between prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Now, as this animation defines, it says click on the boxes to see the comparisons. But as you click on any of these boxes, it doesn't reveal any comparisons unless you click on the first box and then go on sequentially. So this is one of those minor changes that we needed to take care of. And in the latest deployed version, as you can see over here, there is a marker that says click me. And as you click on those boxes which have the markers on it on a sequential manner, you will be able to reveal each of those comparisons between prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells in it. Thank you. Next, I'll be speaking about slide number 16. As you can see over here, slide number 16 deals with identifying different types of images into two different categories, that is prokaryotic or eukaryotic. But so the screen that I'm showing right now is the existing animation that was there for this particular game. And as you can see, this screen is not at all intuitive, as in it doesn't give any instruction on what needs to be done right now. And this is how the animation unfolds as I click on any object. As I click on the first object, it reveals an image, and I can see there's a small hint that is embedded on the image itself. But then as I click on the remaining boxes, I don't get to see any response from the website. But if I click on the same image once again, it hides one of those texts. So I believe it is trying to hint that this particular image is eukaryotic in nature. And then as I go on to the next image and continue with that same process, assuming that you need to click on the same image once again, it hides another one to reveal that it is actually prokaryotic, and so on. So as you can see, for fourth grade children who would be working on this particular animation or who would try to use this animation to learn something would find it hard, because none of these steps or instructions are intuitive in nature. So what I had worked on and our team had worked on is to revamp this website so that the instructions are much more easier and the game is much more easier to understand and to learn. This is the latest version of the exact same game, which is deployed in WordPress, as you can see over here. So the question or the requirement from the student is written very clearly on the text up top. So it basically tells you that given the image, you need to segregate them into two different types, that is either eukaryotic or prokaryotic. And on each of this image, as you can see, it doesn't have any embedded hint anymore. But on the other hand, there is a box over here which says that you can click the images to reveal hints. So as you click on an image, it says, is there a nucleus on it? If you click on this image, it says, what type of cells have flagella? If you click on this, it says, do you see a nucleus or organelles and so on? And at the same time, you can click particular options. Like for example, let's do a guess that these are the options and click on submit. So it highlights those boxes wherein there are wrong answers. And as you can see, the first two boxes are highlighted in red, which basically means that they have wrong answers. So if you just correct one of them, you see the red highlight disappears. And over here, you get this message saying you got 3 out of 4 correct. Hint, verify your answers in the colored box. So you fix that and submit it, and it says, congrats, you have got them all. Apart from this one, I would also like to point out the aspect where this page has been made responsive to. So as you can see, this is how it would be viewed in the Pixel 2 phone. On the other hand, if you go for iPad Pro, you'll be able to see this displayed like this. So the website has been fixed for responsibility issues too, because earlier it had various issues where it couldn't scale well on multiple devices, and that one has also been taken care of. So hopefully this slide have been made very intuitive in nature.